Two 14-year-olds have been charged with armed carjacking of a rideshare driver. Police said the teenagers used this gun as the demanded the driver to give them her car. She says she was in fear of her life, so she gave it to them. This happened in the 6400 block of Gifford Drive in Temple Hills Saturday afternoon. Officers saw the car, tried to stop them. The boys ended up crashing. Turns out the handgun was actually a BB gun. They have been committed to a juvenile detention center. And developing now, police need your help to figure out who sold an electric wheelchair in Montgomery County. Happened on Hampton Lane in Bethesda on October 26th. Police say the person you see here stole that electric wheelchair from an apartment complex parking garage. If you have any information that helps close this case, you can collect a $10,000 reward. A man accused of being part of the deadly Lockerbie terrorist attack is now in U.S. custody. Investigators say he'll face charges for making the bomb that killed hundreds of people back in 1988, many of them Americans. Anna Brent has the details from Washington.
That suspect appeared at a federal courthouse here in D.C. on Monday. Investigators believe he was a key player in the Lockerbie attack, which is the second deadliest terrorist attack against Americans.
It was these faces on the minds of families when they heard about the arrest in the Lockerbie terrorism case.
It was the first time that I was hopeful.
Victoria Cummick's husband, John, was killed in the 1988 attack when a Pan Am plane flying from London to New York exploded over Lockerbie, Scotland. A total of 270 people were killed. 190 of them were Americans.
270 lives were shattered, and thousands of victims' loved ones from 21 nations were left to pick up the pieces.
Now Abu Aguila Massad is in U.S. custody. He's a Libyan intelligence official who investigators say made the bomb that blew up the plane.
We are hopefully going to see not only some justice here, but perhaps more information about other people that were responsible for this.
Two other men were also accused of being part of the attack. One was convicted in a United Nations court, but was released from jail because he had cancer. The other man was acquitted. Misused would be the first person tried for this attack in a U.S. court, which some say is long overdue.
U.S. authorities have never arrested or prosecuted any suspects in 34 years. To the American families, this felt like a betrayal.
But the families say they're hopeful this is a step towards getting justice.
I wasn't sure if, within my lifetime, we would be able to see the day. So this is a significant milestone.
U.S. officials haven't explained how exactly they got Misused into their custody. His next appearance in court will be on Wednesday. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
Well, news of a burst pipeline in Kansas prompting uncertainty about whether gas prices will keep going down or surge to make up for lost oil. Crude oil prices ticked upward today after thousands of barrels of oil leaked from the Keystone pipeline last Wednesday. This comes as Gas Buddy reports a national drop in the average price of gas for 5 consecutive weeks. Here in the DMV, gas costs nearly $3.10 in Virginia, $3.25 in West Virginia, and $3.28 in Maryland. It's $3.50 in the district. As we approach the holidays where families are expected to gather all across the country, health officials fear we could put a significant strain on our healthcare system if we don't take proper precautions. Alex Capriello from our network News Nation has more.
New this morning, concern grows nationwide for rapidly increasing cases of COVID, RSV, and the flu, what health officials have deemed a triple-demic. The CDC says 9% of counties nationwide are considered to have a high risk of COVID infection, and the agency urges people in those areas to mask up indoors. In Los Angeles, the average number of positive cases jumped 19% week to week. The director of public health is urging indoor mask wearing, writing, "When you put on your mask for these few weeks during this surge, it is about the people of LA County. It is about every individual, every visitor, our healthcare workers, essential workers, and other people who serve. In addition to vaccination, it is one of the easiest things everyone can do right now." Mask recommendations are also popping up in other parts of the country as well. New York City's health commissioner wants New Yorkers to mask up in stores, on public transit, and in schools. 12 county health officials and 25 hospital executives want people to do the same in Washington state. And in Oregon, residents there are advised to wear masks in crowded indoor areas. Right now, about 80% of hospital beds are occupied nationwide, and doctors are worried that could rise during the holidays.
Our immune system has not been revved up. The vaccine rates are lower. We are a prime sitting target for other respiratory illnesses as we relax our guard down and begin to have contact with other people.
As Alex Capriello reporting. As for RSV, the ones at greatest risk are children 6 months and younger who haven't built up strong immune systems yet. An RSV vaccine is reported to become available by this time next year. Well, still ahead on the news at 5, laid to rest how the Clear Spring community is coming together to say goodbye to one of their own.
And the final dash to buy holiday gifts. Where to get another crack at savings before it's too late. Coming up.
All right, Ben, you're watching DC News Now at 5, covering the news where you live, from the nation's capital to West Virginia. Stick around. We're back with more news and weather after this. All right, we're stretching your dollar tonight. In the retail world, today is known as Green Monday. It's another chance to find discounts and hot items for the holidays and time those running out to get them. DC News Now consumer reporter Ben Dennis joining us live here in studio. Ben, Green Monday, one of the biggest online shopping days in December, and you found some really good deals.
Hey there, Chris. Yeah, today is yet another chance for shoppers to save cash on items from tech to clothes and more. Think green when Green Monday offers come around. At Amazon, they're promoting 50% off their own branded kids gifts, including kids display tablets and headphones. Bed Bath & Beyond and Kohl's offer 25% off an entire purchase. And over at J. Crew, 70% off clothes. And at Shutterfly, cut the price of your order in half for holiday cards and gifts on mugs, hats, etc. for your prized photographs. Gone are the days of Black Friday being the sole chance to grab major markdowns. Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, and holiday deals offered as early as October allow consumers to stretch their dollar even further. Now, the National Retail Federation says a record number of Americans shopped over the Thanksgiving holiday. Nearly 197 million consumers spent over that holiday break. And with inflation hurting many households, consumer advocates point to gifts that don't break the bank. Thoughtful gifts like offering to clear gutters, and other tasks. For example, thrift stores like Salvation Army and Goodwill, which has an online store option, can offer vintage finds, even toys for kids. And regarding the shipping deadlines, we've got more online at DCNewsNow.com. Ben Dennis, back to you, Chris.
Okay, some good stuff there as always, Ben. Thanks. All new tonight, Fairfax County Police are asking for $150,000 to help protect Jewish congregations from hate crimes. The grant money would come from the county's Department to Combat Hate Crimes, and it would be used to make sure that schools, community centers, and synagogues are more secure. Fairfax County has reported 8 anti-Semitic incidents so far this year. All right, happening tonight, Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrich is hosting a forum on how the county will spend its money for the next fiscal year. That meeting is at 7 tonight. It's at the Black Rock Center for the Arts in Germantown. Now, you don't have to be there in person, though. There's an online option through a link on the county's website. Well, check this out. New video in tonight. A winter storm dumping several feet of snow over Northern California over the weekend. This video shows wintry scenes in South Lake Tahoe on Sunday. According to the National Weather Service, winter weather and windy conditions will move into New Mexico and western Texas region on Monday. Damon is here. And Damon, you were telling me earlier, that system is making its way to us.
Yeah, exactly. That's why this storm system is a powerful one. It's going to track across the entire country before it gets here. So we're going to be tracking that over the next few days before it arrives late this week. For right now, though, things have not been all that bad out there on this Monday in the DMV. Check out those wind speeds. This has been one consistent factor with our weather today. We've had a bit of a northerly wind, nothing too crazy, but we've had those wind speeds reaching up to 15 miles an hour at times, still around the 10-mile-per-hour range in Manassas, D.C., back toward Winchester. But as we go into the overnight hours now, this wind is going to start to calm down, and that should help it feel at least not as chilly at times. But as the temperatures drop, doesn't matter how much the wind is going. Now, this cloud deck, again, it's been ever persistent. We've noticed a few breaks here and there, and now as we start to go into the overnight hours, we'll notice even more breaks in that cloud deck, and we'll have a nice clear sky by tomorrow. But unfortunately for tonight, that means we're going to have those very cold temperatures, pretty much lows in the 20s all across the board, and we could even see some upper teens out there to the west. Now tomorrow, though, we do get the benefactor of all of this nice clear sky. Sunny skies will be out there with calm conditions for Tuesday, and we need to enjoy this while it's here. As we go into Wednesday night, that storm system out on the west coast right now begins to arrive, and it will be bringing a wintry mix across the entire viewing area late Wednesday night. And then as we go into the day on Thursday, we could still see a wintry mix out there for our western counties. Some of us will transition to a cold rain, but with this storm system, the main thing at this point that we are concerned with is the possibility of ice accumulation out there. But we are still a little less than 3 days out. A lot can change, and we got to track that as we go over the next few days. For the time being, though, in the short term, this is what we can look forward to. That clear sky, it's going to continue to become more prevalent as we go into your Tuesday morning, and check it out as we go throughout pretty much the entire day tomorrow. We'll continue to see that clear sky sticking with us on Tuesday. Now, how does this impact our temperatures? Well, here you go. As we go toward 9 o'clock, we start to fall through those 30s, and then beyond by 6 a.m. on your Tuesday morning, low 20s back across western Maryland, the eastern panhandle. A little bit warmer, but still down into those mid to upper 20s along I-95 and into the D.C. metro. And through tomorrow afternoon, despite how sunny it's going to be, it's not going to warm up much, if at all, as we go forward here. Still going to be in those upper 30s, low 40s. Actually a little cooler tomorrow than what we experienced out there today. So definitely something we're going to watch. And then again, as we roll ahead into Wednesday night and Thursday, the probability that we see sleet and freezing rain is up there. There's going to be some snow mixing in, but again, the primary thing we have to watch out for with this storm system rolling in late this week is going to be that sleet and freezing rain. That will cause us the most problems. But again, we're still pinpointing down exact timing, exact locations as to where the worst of this wintry mess is going to be located. So yes, just gear up. We already have a DMV first warn day labeled for Thursday with that wintry mess moving through. And then as we go into Friday, things start to clear out as we head into the upcoming weekend. Coming up after the break, we'll have more news and weather. Be sure to stay tuned.
And all new today in West Virginia, lingering questions from a 2016 Martinsburg murder may be answered. A woman who was wanted in connection with murder was arrested last week in New Orleans. U.S. Marshals taking 25-year-old Dominique Perry into custody as an accessory after the fact to a double murder. 33-year-old Derek Wells of Hagerstown is in custody and awaiting trial. Now, according to court documents, 22-year-old Alquad Ear Sutton was found dead in the 300 block of East Stevens Street in Martinsburg, while the body of 23-year-old Ahmad Hafley was found at a storage area on Shepherdstown Road. Wells is being held in the Eastern Regional Jail in Martinsburg. Perry was considered a fugitive shortly after being indicted. Well, Maryland recommits to its cooperation with Japan over economic and trade relations. The 4-year agreement brings more Japanese investment to the state. It also expands partnership in energy, biotechnology, rail development, and other key industries. This all comes after Governor Larry Hogan's recent trade mission to Asia. Well, D.C. is encouraging young people and their families to sign up for career development programs. The program will be based at the Achievement Centers in the district. It offers free professional vocation training and after-school programs for kids ages 14 up to 21. The program is led by the district's Youth Rehabilitation Department staff to help kids develop their strengths and confidence.
When people come to us, we celebrate them, we challenge them, and we support them. We know that every young person in our community is worthy and capable and full of promise.
DC's Achievement Centers will also have a tattoo artistry and microblading program next year. Well, Richmond's final city-owned Confederate statue has finally been removed, and officially. A pedestal for the statue of General A.P. Hill Jr. is being disassembled this evening. The statue removal process kicked off around 9 this morning. Now all that remains to be taken away is a pedestal that holds the general's remains. The statue removal comes after a very lengthy legal battle that's currently still playing out in the courts. A judge rejected initial efforts to stop the removal altogether. The judge determined that delaying the removal would result in additional costs and a potential traffic hazard. Hill's descendants are now pushing to relocate the statue of Hill to the same cemetery his remains will be going to in Culpeper. The family members say they're against the city's plan to donate the statue to the Black History Museum and Cultural Center of Virginia, which currently houses all the prior monuments removed. Here's John Hill, the closest living collateral descendant of John Hill, and also Joy Shaw, a Richmond resident.
Well, that's a headstone with our family name on it, so it means a lot to me. My ancestors' remains are in there.
I moved some meetings around today because it's very important that I'm here, just as a descendant of all the brutality that happened.
Most city-owned Confederate memorials came down in the summer of 2020. The removal of the A.P. Hill statue marks the close of a 2-year plan to remove memorials to the Confederacy in the city. And developing right now, it took 37 years, but today Virginia Attorney General Jason Mayaris announced that Scott Asselone, a former priest at St. Francis de Sales Catholic Church in Purcellville, pleaded guilty to sexual assault of a minor. The 65-year-old former priest was 29 when he abused a child during the summer of 1985. If convicted, he could face up to 10 years in prison. Attorney General Mayaris saying, "Every victim deserves to be heard. My office is dedicated to investigating and prosecuting those who prey on children to the fullest extent of the law." And new tonight, a special election date has now been set for Virginia's 4th congressional district. The election will be held on February 21st, 2023. A seat was previously held by Congressman Donald McEachin, who died from cancer on November 28th. The last day for candidates to file is December 23rd. A bipartisan group of lawmakers is calling on the Biden administration to address the amoxicillin shortage. Rashawn Hudson has more from Capitol Hill.
A wide-scale shortage of an important medication has parents and doctors scrambling.
Shortages of drugs are never a good thing.
Dr. John White with WebMD says, while not an emergency now, the shortage of amoxicillin needs to be taken seriously.
We need to start addressing it now before it gets worse.
The common antibiotic is used to treat many illnesses from ear infections to pneumonia.
These respiratory viruses, these infections continue to increase. we're going to see greater need for these medications.
Ohio Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown blames Big Pharma for the shortage.
Amoxicillin clearly is an example of how U.S. corporations have abandoned this country. They shut down production here, they move it overseas to look for cheap labor.
Brown is a part of a bipartisan group of lawmakers urging the Biden administration to do more to address the current shortage.
The push we've done with the White House should help short term, but long term, these companies, we need to do this reindustrialization, bring the supply chains back.
For now, the senators are asking the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the FDA Commissioner to start a task force to address the shortage. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
Well, coming up, more than 10,000 felons who were ineligible to vote remained on Virginia's voter rolls because of another glitch, that according to state election officials. Ahead, what the state's election commissioner is asking lawmakers tonight.
And a wicked storm system is heading our way for the end of this week. Just potentially how messy could it get out there through the day on Thursday? We'll have a chat coming up after the break.
Quick. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good.
In a unanimous vote, D.C.'s Board of Elections reversed a ruling that Councilmember Elissa Silverman broke campaign finance rules. In October, the Office of Campaign Finance ruled that Silverman broke campaign finance rules by funding 2 polls in the Ward 3 Democratic primary. It's a race Silverman was not running in. The ruling came out days before the November election. Silverman was running as an at-large candidate. She lost that race. Today, the Board of Elections saying the council member did not misspend funds because the polls helped her decide who to endorse, which does indirectly affect her campaign. In a statement, Silverman says, "I lost my re-election because of the flawed and rushed OCF decision. This decision prejudiced voters and prominent opinion writers and commentators against me."